to the Sideline Perspective. Your host, Reese the Sideliner, episode 6. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Today we are going over the winners and losers of the trade deadline, as you can see from the title of the video, as well as we got some buyout market candidates out there in free agency. A couple of guys were already signed, like Spencer Dinwiddie by the Lakers. You got Kyle Lowry to the Philadelphia 76ers. And then Shams tweeted out after the trade deadline the updated championship odds off FanDuel. There was a couple of teams that I thought were that had huge jumps once the deadline ended. So yeah, I want to talk about that as well. And then, we got to talk about my OKC Thunder, man. I'm not mad. Like, there's not, like, we're not terrible, but for us to be at the 1 seed a couple different times this year and then just completely, lose it after a couple games is kind of concerning. Like, obviously, being a top 4 seed gets you that home court advantage. So as long as we're top 4, which we are and we have been, we'd be all right. But then you got teams like the Clippers, who were the 1 seed just the other day. The Clippers were the 1 seed the other day, bro. How they started this season, how it looked initially after the James Harden trade, that team was the 1 seed just a few days ago. Obviously, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been the headstrong number 1 team the entire season for the most part. And then you also have that experienced championship defending team in the Denver Nuggets, who are, really making us work to stay top 4 as well. So, and then the Phoenix Suns have been hot. Like, it's getting kind of scary for that home court advantage. I don't want to fall out of the top 6. I don't want to be in the play-in again. Obviously, last year, that didn't really work out for us. Not trying to see that again, especially with how well we've been playing this year and how great Shea's been playing. I ain't even mentioned the Mavericks. You see how good they look when they whooped our ass? Man, I ain't even mentioned the Mavericks, bro. Like, it's getting scary. It's really getting scary. Like, every team I just named, Denver, Minnesota, the Mavericks, you have OKC, Phoenix, and who's the other team? Whatever. That's 5 teams right there. And there was another team. Don't know why I'm blanking right now. Minnesota, Denver, Clippers, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, OKC Thunder. It's like, it's getting scary. But without further ado, I know that was a long intro. If you're new around here, subscribe. You know what I mean. This is a basketball NBA podcast. We enjoy basketball around here. You feel me? So, if you enjoy basketball, you're going to enjoy this podcast because, hey, that's what this is. I am working on, eventually bringing some guests on the show. Just got to, kind of figure out a new setup for that. But eventually, we'll get that in action. Got to figure out who to bring on as well, because not everybody watch ball, bro. And I'm not about to have people on here just talking BS. Y'all might think I talk BS. I know some of y'all actually like some of my takes, but not everybody is 100% right all the time. Not everyone is an expert. Not everybody went to college for journalism and things like that. If you want to see, I have so many, like, I actually write. Like, I write this stuff out. So, and I don't read it word for word. This just gives me, a basis to go off of when I do my show. But I actually do this. And I'm not about to have somebody up here, just talking BS. So, like I said, without further ado, let's get into the show, man. Winners and losers of the trade deadline, buyout market candidates, championship odds after the trade deadline. We're also going to talk about the Red Hot Cavaliers, and then to close it out, we'll end it with the Thunder. So, first team I wanted to cover as far as a winner goes for the trade deadline, New York Knicks, baby. that is the team that won it outright in my mind. A+ for the moves that they made. Obviously, I have a video. My last posted video was covering the trade deadline after all the moves were made. I hate the fact that I was at work when this was all going down because I didn't get to post my video till damn near midnight, and it didn't get much traction. I'm cool with that. Not really, a view hunter, but I do love for my videos to do well. So it was like, damn, 35-minute video. I worked on this all night. It's all good though. But yeah, I didn't really go into depth in that video. I just was talking about what moves happened and what they would look like possibly in the next couple, whatever. This video, this podcast, I'm doing just that, going kind of in depth over what these trades look like for these teams and why I think they're winners or losers, and yeah, so on and so forth. Excuse me. So like I said, New York Knicks, as you know, they traded for Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. Alec Burks, man, he's been absolutely electric, scoring the ball at various points throughout this season. He's only averaging about 12 points a night, but he's shooting lights out from three at 40%, 90% from the free throw line. He's a perfect spark plug kind of guy to have off the bench after trading quickly to Toronto at the end of last year. Just last month, though, he was playing absolutely out of his mind. He was averaging over 17 points a game, even more lethal from deep at 47%, while still hitting 90% of his free throw attempts. I want to say only shot 3 to 5 a night, but still, that's great percentages. He even helped Detroit win 3 games last month alone. So, hey, he a winner. You know what I mean? Like, he do this. Nah. But I want to say he had 2 30-point games last month. I want to say a handful of 20 pieces. So, like I said, he was playing out of his mind last month, and that's really why his trade value peaked like that. Although the New York Knicks didn't give up a first-round pick, the biggest value person that they gave up was Quentin Grimes. You're not really gonna miss Ryan Arcidiacono like that. I think they gave up 2 second-round picks, but they gave up other pieces as well, but they weren't, even like Quentin Grimes was in and out of rotation at times, so they're not really going to miss much when you consider what they bought back in an Alec Burks and then Bojan Bogdanovic, who has been a name that's been, we all know, circulating for the past 3 years now at the trade deadline. He's been linked to the Lakers every time. Obviously, that didn't happen. Don't know why it didn't happen, but here we are now. He was finally moved to a contending team. In my opinion, like I said, these were the best moves at the trade deadline. He's averaging the most points of his career right now at 20.2 points a game. He's knocking down 41% of his shots from deep, and he literally makes the Knicks that much more dangerous. Like I've mentioned before, they, in my opinion, were maybe 1 to 2 pieces away from, really challenging a 76ers team in the playoffs, or Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics in the playoffs. Even the Cavaliers, who are the 2 seed right now because of how well they've been playing, they were just minuscule moves away from doing just that. And I wouldn't say these were the best moves that they were, speculated to make. I know the Malcolm Brogdon and DeJounte Murray thing was out there. Not out there, but, like spoken about. Maybe just by the fans, by the media, but not really, internally by organizations. So it's not like star power names, but that's probably for the better. You don't want to bring in guys that might have egos or chips on their shoulders to prove themselves after being traded, or they feel like now that they're in New York, they might be a more magnified kind of player. You want to bring in guys who know their role, who's going to play the game the right way, and either can play as a starter or off the bench. As I mentioned before, Malcolm Brogdon, we all know just last year he was the 6th man of the year. He can come off the bench or he can be in the starter role and perform just the same. It doesn't really matter for him. As far as DeJounte Murray, we've never seen him in a bench role. So bringing him in and, the possibility of Thibodeau wanted to change up lineups for a game or two, and it just so happens DeJounte is coming off the bench. That might rub him the wrong way. So moves like this, where you bring in role players as opposed to star players like the damn Lakers keep wanting to do, that's what wins you basketball games. That's what gets you to the playoffs. The goal is to get to the playoffs, but not just get to the playoffs, make a run. Yeah, last year they made a run, but that was after they flipped the big name in Russell Westbrook. That was after they got role players in that actually were more susceptible to being a catch and shoot, stand in a corner kind of player. You can't convince a Hall of Famer to do that. Not a guy that averages a triple-double for 4 out of his last 5 to 6 seasons. Not a guy that was an MVP. Not a guy that has led his own team through playoff pushes. Not a guy that is not even a three-point shooter. Like, that was the most baffling part about the Lakers. Like, you bring in Russell Westbrook for him to stand in the corner and shoot when LeBron or Anthony Davis kicks it out. What the hell is that? Or he can't really get to his drives because Anthony Davis want to be on the block or in the mid the whole time. Because he's afraid to go and we getting a little, let's get back to the video, bro. Oh, man. Because we gonna get to the Lakers for sure. They are one of the losers of this deal. Of this trade deadline. But back to Bojan, though. At the current moment in time, Julius Randle and OG Anunoby are out with injuries. He will most likely be in the starting lineup until one of them come back. But, like I said, he's effective in either a bench role or a starting role. And he's a scorer, a shooter that you have to contest every time. You can't give Bojan an open shot. 9 times out of 10, or 40% of the time, it's going in. And really, it's 41% of the time. So, yeah, get a hand up. Moving on to the next winner of this trade deadline. It's really only 2 teams that stood out. But for the third team that I threw in here, I just felt like the move that they made could help them. It's not an immediate change like the Dallas Mavericks one is, bringing in PJ Washington, who just had a hell of a game. Daniel Gafford, who had a hell of a game. Both of them off the bench. But we'll get to that. Dallas Mavericks. I think the biggest factor, and everybody knows, this is no secret that Josh Green is a valuable piece. So it's not like, oh, this was a discovery by me and just me. No. But it's just something that I realized. The biggest factor out of both the deals that they made, they did not have to give up Josh Green. That was huge. That was huge for what they're trying to build towards. He's a solid perimeter defender who can also shoot above 40% consistently. He's in his 4th year. The past 2 years, I want to say he's been hovering around 40% or above 40%. So his value is higher than the normal fan would think. He's still only in his 4th season, like I said, so he's figuring out what kind of player he will be moving forward with his career. And he's shown early flashes of, like I said, being a pest on the defensive end and like a 3-and-D mode kind of guy. But he is a 6'5" guard with bounce. Like, he has other elements to his game that he doesn't always get to show off. So he will be a quintessential piece for a championship team, whether it's this Dallas Mavericks team in the future or another team in 2 to 3 years. He will be a valuable piece for that team. Excuse me. For the season, he's scoring a little over 9 points a game on 40% accuracy from deep, but in the 5 games played just this month, he's averaging 14.6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists on 46% shooting. So there's been an improvement in the right direction, exactly when the Mavericks needed it. They're pushing out a 4-game win streak right now. Like I said, they beat our OKC Thunder the other day. Not a pretty game at all once we got to that second half, 146-111. Just a disgusting display by Luka Doncic in that, just throwing lobs all game. So I really, really enjoyed. I didn't get to watch it live. I watched it back. I really enjoyed seeing how easily he was able to find Gafford and PJ Washington being teammates for less than 48 hours. So that's just a credit to Luka being such a great player, bro. But speaking of Daniel Gafford, they finally got another big man to either back up Derek Lively or be inserted in the starting lineup if need be. He leads the league in field goal percentage at 69%. What more do you want, bro? Easy baskets. That's what Gafford is all about. We know how nasty he can get on the glass, bro. In this game alone, he had 4 offensive rebounds, and one of them he jumped from damn near the free throw line and like snagged it over 2 players. So it was a really solid game for Daniel Gafford. If the fit is as perfect as it looked last night, and I am reading this one verbatim, against my Thunder, then this team is a scary matchup for any team in the postseason. Like, it looked that good to where it's like, damn, was that all they needed was Dale Gafford and PJ Washington to make this team legit, like a legit threat? Maybe not, just one game sample size. You don't really want to, get too hype off of it, but it's like to do it against a team like OKC who has been played so well and dominant for majority of this season. That was what was impressive about it. In his debut game, Daniel Gafford, like I said, was a man unleashed, bro. 19 points, which was the second most he scored all season. His season high is 26. He had 9 rebounds, like I mentioned, 4 of which were offensive, and a block while hitting 7 of 11 of his shots in just 17 minutes. He did all of that in just 17 minutes of play, bro. I can only imagine how it feels to go from a team that had 9 wins to a team that has 29 wins. Like, that must feel like, I don't know, like waking up in the morning after a 10-hour nap, like a 10-hour sleep. I don't know, like, it must feel refreshing to walk into that environment. So that's probably why he plays so well, man. Like, this team is actually competing for playoff seeding. They're not competing to get the number 1 pick. So I like that a lot for Daniel Gafford. A change of scenery is always good for a player, in my opinion, if you see the potential in what they bring to the court or to a team. Gaff has been, I think last season he was rumored to be traded, but was he hurt? For whatever reason, he didn't get traded, but it may have been for the best for him and Dallas that he kind of just fell into their lap into this at this trade deadline. And then PJ Washington, bro. They've been saying for months now how they wanted this like all-around versatile threat of a wing that can defend, that can shoot, 6'10". You kind of had that in Porzingis just a few seasons ago. And Porzingis has talked about it. It was, I don't really remember everything he talked about, what was said, but it basically just wasn't working out for him and his like what he wanted to do for his career, so he wanted to move on. But they got that rangy, versatile forward in PJ Washington, which was a much-needed aspect for this team after losing, Dorian Finney-Smith, a very, very great perimeter defender. PJ Washington is not, he's not putting the clamps down on nobody, but he can move. He for a dude that's 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", he can really shuffle his feet and sit in front of somebody, sit in that chair for defensive possession. So, like I said, that's just a spot that they've been wanting to fill. And from that one game sample size, he looks like he's going to be that guy to do just that for them, bro. He played 24 minutes in his debut game. He tallied 14 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. He shot just 1 of 4 from deep, but as we know, he is a capable floor spacer. He can, hit his 3-point shots occasionally. For his career, he's shooting about league average on about 4.5 attempts a night. So that's exactly what they need. Luka, Kyrie, when they are getting to their work in the mid, in the post, and They just can't get to their shot. You see a guy in the corner, you feel a guy up top at the wing. You know, Luka loved to throw them weird ass passes. So him being in the right place, right time, getting pinpoint passes from either Luka or Kyrie Irving. He just played with LaMelo Ball, for crying out loud. Like he wasn't in a system where he didn't have a great point guard, a dude that's going to be a numerous time All-Star. So he does know what it's like to play in a system where, not really a system, but with a guy that, you know, he's going to look for you. He's going to find you. So he's not going to just be, what do you call that? Like a rock out there. Like he knows Luka's looking for him. He knows Kyrie is going to be looking for him. So he's going to be shot ready. The energy from the team that night, though, was electric from the start. And he, along with Gafford, like they fit like a glove. I'm really excited to see how that works out for them. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself after just a one-game sample size. But after 10 or so games, we'll come back and be like, how's this looking for real? Because right now, they're 1-0. Very, very convincing, impressive win. 146-111. 35-point win in their debut. They both, you know, were very effective in their own right. So, winners, in my opinion. And like I mentioned, this last team, the Milwaukee Bucks. This is just, in my opinion, I think they really went out and did their thing by getting Patrick Beverley. His defensive IQ should help the backcourt of the Bucks in the long run. Every stop he's ever been in, he's been a voice in the locker room, whether he's been the voice or one of the voices. Obviously, with LeBron James, you're not going to be the voice, but he was a very key piece and vital on-court coach, so to speak. Look, you saw in his first game, he got the clipboard trying to draw plays with the Bucks. So, like, he's just always that guy that, you know, his IQ is going to carry him more than his play. Even he played with Russ, like I said, with the Lakers. They made amends, and we know he has his little thing with Damian Lillard. Whatever video when he got traded, one of the first things he said, damn, man, I got to get my relationship right with Dame, man. We know he can be a professional. That's just the way he is. When he's not your teammate, they're going to hate him. But if he is your teammate, you love to have him. So, you know, hopefully they can, you know, work it out and make things work. His impact won't be the difference maker, like I was saying earlier, immediately. But as time goes on, he could get Dame and Malik Beasley, especially Malik Beasley, who we know has been a solid defender before, to, you know, actually buy in and sit in that chair, because it's really bad for the Bucks backcourt when it comes to playoffs, bro. Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. Who else is out there out east, bro? Jaylen Brown. Even though he plays the 3, Jaylen Brown. Like, it's really going to be, or it's just, sometimes he plays the 2, whatever. They get switched, it's going to be bad. So having Patrick Beverley is definitely an upgrade and a move in the right direction for them for the playoffs. And Robin Lopez, because he got traded, he was reading a book on the sideline during that last game, which I thought was pretty funny. Moving on to the losers, though. We already 23 minutes into this video, and we talked about winners. Losers is going to take this to an hour. Chicago Bulls, man. I can't believe they ain't make a move. Not even to try to get a pick. Like, they made no moves. They have not traded for a player since August 2021. It's been nearly 2.5 years since the Bulls traded Lauri Markkanen to the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 3-team deal that gave them Derrick Jones Jr., a 2022 first-round pick, a 2023 second-round pick that they used on a guy that doesn't even really play like that. I don't know what the hell. What's his name? Arcani Shovas? I don't know how to say his name. I don't know what the hell they doing up top over there in Chicago. I get it. Zach LaVine was hurt. Y'all were really, you know, banking on the fact that y'all can trade him, being one of y'all's most valuable pieces, assets, whatever, aside from Kobe White and Alex Caruso. because of his contract, because of the all-star caliber player we know he can be. He's just injury riddled. It's unfortunate, but that's just the truth. Zach LaVine is an injury riddled guy. Similar to like what we try to say with Anthony Davis. Zach LaVine, he misses a lot of time too. Granted, with the Chicago Bulls, he's been relatively healthy, but this year, season-ending surgery. So I get it. They were banking on him being healthy and possibly moving him, but I just, you don't want to put all your hopes in one guy to determine what your future is going to look like. DeMar DeRozan could have been traded. He's on the last year of his deal as a 34-year-old. He should have been moved last trade deadline, but they decided to hold pat. Nah, we're going to keep this thing going. Vucevic could have been traded last deadline, but they extended him if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why they're making these stupid ass moves. Unfortunately, the Bulls did not make that move, and his value fell off tremendously to the point that I don't even hear noise regarding DeMar being shopped. That's from a source. I got that from a source myself. His value dropped so tremendously that they didn't even hear any peep about him being traded. Did y'all see anything on Twitter? Did y'all hear Woj and Shams rumoring that DeMar would be? I didn't. It's just crazy. Just a couple seasons ago, he was the most clutch player in the league, taking over fourth quarters. I've never seen no player like that in the fourth quarter in my life, other than Kobe Bean Bryant. Granted, I didn't watch Kobe that much because I was a LeBron fan, and now, in retrospect, even before he passed away, may he rest in peace. That last game, because I did watch that. I'm watching it like, bro, I hate myself for like hating on this dude for his whole career, basically. Like, after LeBron got his championships, it was whatever. Like, I that's when I started watching Kobe like more intently. Like, I knew who Kobe was, I knew what he was about, but just being a kid, being a fan of LeBron, I'm not a fan of Kobe. That was just by default. But I respected Kobe's game. But now I don't do that, bro. Like Luka Doncic, I used to hate how people talked about, oh, he's going to be he's a Hall of Famer already. Is he greater than LeBron? No, he's not. But I had to really look like, bro, this dude is doing something we have never seen before. He has the 4th highest point per game average in NBA history. It goes Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, someone, Luka Doncic. I think the someone is Elgin Baylor. I'm not going to disrespect. But I can't remember. That's why I said someone. But he has the 4th highest point per game average in NBA history. He's only in his 6th or 7th season. Like, I want everybody to do this. Like I said, we enjoy basketball around here. Really appreciate these dudes in the moment, bro, because after, their careers are done, like, we're about to see LeBron drop 40,000 points in a few games. We've never seen that before. But he's one of the most hated basketball players ever because he decided to go to Miami. If it wasn't for him going to Miami, what hate would LeBron really have? So just appreciate these dudes in a moment, man. I know this took a kind of turn, but like, come on, man. Like, oh well, no, it kind of links things. Like I was talking about DeMar DeRozan being one of the most clutch players in 2022, bro. He was an all-star starter because he was playing that dominant. But now his value has dropped so tremendously that they don't hear any peep about him being traded for even a pick. They're just gonna let him walk for nothing. Granted, excuse me. They did try to come to an agreement earlier this season, or maybe even in the offseason, on a contract extension. It didn't work out for DeMar. He thought the number was too low, or maybe he wasn't getting enough years. I don't know. But ultimately that fell through. So now trade deadline has been over for a few days now. There's no way he's being moved. Y'all damn sure not releasing him. So he's just going to walk for nothing. And that is the most unfortunate part about this Chicago Bulls regime. Why the hell would you not try to get something? It doesn't make sense, sir. And then, like I said, Alex Caruso, he does have a season and a half left. Well, now just a season because you can't trade him until the offseason. So this half season that he has left, that's out the window. So he has 1 year left on his deal after playing the best offensive season of his career. Just under 10 points per game at 9.8, which is a career high for a defensive specialist. He's averaging nearly 10 points a game, but he's only looked at really as a defensive specialist. He's averaging nearly 4 rebounds a game, which is another career high for a season. Then you factor in his shooting splits of 48, 40, 78. His value's at an all-time high just for him to be like, nah, we gonna hold on. What if he don't perform the same, or like, I don't know, what if his value dips because he don't have the same kind of impact this second half of the season? What if teams find something else in free agency or in the offseason before you're able to make that move? Now you have to trade him for nothing, or just do what you did with DeMar and let him walk in a year. Dumb. Excuse me. That's what I really need a guest, bro. Because carrying the show by yourself, just talking, I mean, it's cool. Like, I love it, but, you know, having somebody that I can bounce ideas off of, you know, take a break to take a sip of, you know what I mean? Anyway, the Bulls decided to hold tight and not move on from the best perimeter defender and biggest hustle player, at least for the remainder of this season. So, like I said, maybe in the offseason something can transpire, but that's just goofy to me, bro. And like I said, we're definitely going to get to the Lakers, bro. From Chris Haynes, the probable path for Los Angeles is standing pat at trade deadline with potential to acquire another star player in the offseason when armed with 3 first-round picks. Okay? The speculation, this isn't from Chris Haynes. The speculation is that they may try to land Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray, even Paul George via trade, but the likelihood of two out of 3 of those taking place is slim to none. And that's most likely the Donovan Mitchell and Paul George. Why do y'all want a repeat of the Russell Westbrook thing? Obviously, y'all going to bring in a guy that's younger and probably more adhering to, you know, playing a role as opposed to Russell Westbrook was. But maybe not, bro, because Donovan Mitchell's at the peak of his power. He's averaging 28 points a game. Paul George is having his best season in the last 3 years, being an all-star, back again as an all-star, having a over 20 points per game scoring season. Why the hell would they want to come and be sidekicks to LeBron and Anthony Davis when Kawhi can continue, when Paul George can stay in the other locker room, or is it next season that they're going to their new arena? Next season they get their new arena, I'm pretty sure. He can stay in LA, but he gonna stay with Kawhi, his boy. He gonna stay with James Harden, his boy, and Russell Westbrook, his boy. Come on, bro. Make it make sense, bro. And then the Donovan Mitchell thing, like I said, he's at the peak of his power. He's having 28 points a game. He don't want to be in LA playing with them dudes. He'd rather go to New York, where they already have something built, cement. That is locked in that the New York Knicks are a competing team for the next 3 to 4 seasons at least. You go pull off a trade for Donovan Mitchell, they are literally the favorite to come out of the East. They're not giving up Brunson or Rand. They might give up Julius Randle, but you got Brunson, OG, Josh Hart, Alec Burks. I don't know if he's expiring or not. Bojan. You have guys that are still here that the Knicks can make something happen. Why would Donovan Mitchell want to be traded to the Lakers? The most likely candidate for that would be DeJounte Murray. But why do you want to trade 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray? Not that he's, terrible. He's having the best offensive year of his career, possibly. But no, that's not the move you want to make, bro. Go get these smaller deals done like y'all did last year with these first-round picks. Bring in 2 for 1. You know what I mean? Like, make it make sense, and y'all can actually build out a roster as opposed to signing these guys on minimum that can't even make the rotation every other game. They're currently the 9th seed, just sitting 2 games above 500. It was very baffling and disappointing to see the Lakers make no moves at the deadline. In my opinion, bro, they don't have much value on that roster outside of LeBron or Anthony Davis, so they definitely had to be strategic with that, and that makes a little bit more sense why they weren't trying to just go ahead and make any deal. But at the same time, it's like, are y'all trying to force LeBron into early retirement by keep running him down to the... I mean, he ain't been playing nearly as aggressive and high... what's the word? Not high strung, but, pushing the tempo as hard as he was last year. Not nearly. But still, the man is 39. He will be 40 next year. y'all don't want to be the reason that he goes into. It's not really early retirement. Man will be in year 22, but at the same time, for LeBron, his early retirement, I can see him playing 25 years. However, they were able to make the first move off the buyout market, picking up Spencer Dinwiddie to back up D'Lo as the lead guard, and I like that signing a lot. Whether they have him coming off the bench or in the starting lineup, either way. But I'd rather him come off the bench to give y'all another ball handler, a guy that knows how to look for his teammates. Just a couple seasons ago, he averaged 9 assists. So Spencer Dinwiddie is a guy that had some value. Like was it last year? If it wasn't last year, the year before, he was actually balling, bro, like hooping out of his mind, bro. And then we know with his stints with Dallas, hitting game winners alongside of Luka Doncic. It seems like he really liked playing in Dallas. Brooklyn, he had, the team I always talk about, like the 2018-19 Brooklyn Nets, where they had D'Angelo Russell, Dorian Finney-Smith, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, all those guys over there, the bench mob. Like, he's been in Brooklyn a couple times as well, but for some reason, just his last time, I don't know what happened. But being in LA for some reason just does something for players. So you get a veteran player that could come off the bench and instantly play a key role moving into the playoffs. He could either be the lead guard for you, or he could play off guard if you want him in a starting lineup like he did alongside Luka. It'll work just the same. Like I mentioned, just a couple seasons ago, he averaged 9 assists. This season alone, he's averaging 6 in a year where people talking about he's on strike. He's not scoring the ball very well. He's shooting piss poor, but like I said, it just does something to players when they're in LA. You got Anthony Davis as a lob threat, LeBron James, unguardable virtually at the rim if you hit him on a slash. Shooters like D'Lo and Reeves, Hachimura. D'Lo, like I mentioned, was his teammate back in Brooklyn. So that could bring his assisting back up to 7 or 8, depending on his role in the team. But as far as the trade deadline goes, they kind of lost out because I felt like there were more moves that they could have made. There are more candidates on the buyout market. I'm not sure how many roster spots they have left open, but bringing in Spencer Dinwiddie is definitely a push in the right direction for, like I mentioned, that other ball handling guard off your bench. It's just D'Lo and Austin Reeves right now. Then the Atlanta Hawks, bro. Losers. Keeping a player who's been linked to over 5 different organizations this year alone. He's been in trade rumors since December. It's been speculating like really, really hot, especially over the past month with how he played with Trae Young being out, that he was getting traded. It could be a detriment now that you're keeping him to the locker room. I don't know. He might have wanted to leave, bro, and now y'all keep him. Now you might not get the same guy. You know what I mean? But Jalen Johnson, who is a rising star over there in Atlanta. He's a third option right now. Don't really know if you want him as a second option, so maybe there wasn't a deal. Like I said, the LA move was the one that was the most buzzing, I guess. And neither of these teams made a deal. They most likely want to make that deal happen together, but the draft capital just wasn't there, so it's going to happen in the offseason. So you really probably don't want Jalen Johnson as a second option right now, so it's probably good to keep him in that third option role so he can continue to progress and build some confidence in himself, continue to do that. So next year, once DeJounte is gone, if you don't make a trade that will bring you in a second option, Jalen Johnson can fill that role easily. So, there are some upsides to both the Lakers and Hawks not making deals. But like I mentioned, DeJounte is having the best offensive season of his career, bro, across the board, unless you consider the statistic of him averaging 9 assists, 8 rebounds with 21 points in San Antonio, near triple-double. But as far as scoring, this is his highest. And then all of his percentages across the board are up. So this is the best production season that he's ever had. He's not going to be a 9 rebound per game guy because you got Clint Capella and Jalen Johnson. He's not going to be a 9 assist guy because Trae Young take care of that. And then the 8 rebounds, you got Jalen Johnson and Clint Capella, but he's still doing his just due. We saw the crazy stretch of games he had once Trae Young was out. Had his name buzzing all over the NBA media, like I said, which was really leading us to believe like he was going to be traded. A few days before the trade deadline, it was somebody, I forget where it was or who tweeted it, but it was basically like, yeah, DeJounte Murray to LA is basically done. No, it wasn't. I don't even know. Like, I was confused in the moment too. Like, how is that even happening? Why is it happening? I don't want it to happen. Not nothing against DeJounte, but like I said, they have. If you're going to trade all your picks, don't trade them for just one player, bro. Build out your team with a 40-year-old LeBron James, a 31, 32-year-old Anthony Davis, bro. Make it make sense. Get some young guys out here that can run against these young teams in the West, like a Minnesota Timberwolves and OKC Thunder. Hell, the Dallas Mavericks just got younger and faster. Like, make it make sense. That's all I ask. Then the last loser, the Detroit Pistons, bro. They traded and released a total of 7 players, while in turn acquiring 7 new players to fill those empty spots on the roster. Most notably, the number 7 overall pick in 2021, Killian Hayes. He was waived after requesting a change of scenery. I'm pretty sure that's not what the hell he meant, bro. But looking back at that draft, he was drafted ahead of Obi Toppin, Denny Avdia, Jalen Smith, Devin Vassell, Tyrese Halliburton. 3 of those players were traded from the team that drafted them. So, he's not in rare air like 3 of these other guys. So he's a 4th guy that is not on the team that drafted him anymore. But funny enough, Obi, Jalen, and Tyrese all play for the Pacers. So I thought that was pretty funny. But what really is the issue with the Killian Hayes thing, bro? Like, y'all couldn't even get a 2nd round pick. Like I said for DeMar, bro, like his value was nothing. Like, this is worse than, just keeping DeMar and letting him walk for nothing, because at least he's still playing. He can get you wins. He can get you into the play-in. We know, he's been there, done that. Like, his playoff experience, he can win you play-in games. It just didn't work last year. But yeah, like, his value was nothing. Killian Hayes' value was nothing to the Pistons, bro. Joe Harris's value was nothing to the Pistons. He makes double-digit $1 million. I want to say he makes like $14, $15 million, bro. And they just released him, waived him. Their values were nothing. Like, they couldn't get anything. They also waived Danilo Gallinari, bro, who I just saw play for them the other day. He was getting legit minutes, bro. Like, he was a legit rotational player for them, and they waived him after trading for him a couple weeks ago. So you trade for him, let him play for you, and then release him. What, bro? I couldn't even imagine being a Pistons fan, bro. Like, I can't imagine. And then you get online on Twitter, and you see people like, yeah, I was signing Killian Hayes immediately. And then Pistons fans and they mentions like, does he know? He don't know. Don't know what? Y'all not doing something right up there in Detroit with these players, bro. Jaden Ivey coming off the bench for Killian Hayes. Bro, Killian Hayes, if and when he signs somewhere, should be a changed player, bro. We know he can go off for some points. He had some really ridiculous performances, if I'm being honest, early this season. Even last year and the year before that, where we were like, damn, Killian Hayes is, yeah, that was a hell of a draft pick, Pistons. But now his value is nothing to y'all? Because he requested a change of scenery. Y'all couldn't even trade him for picks. Y'all couldn't trade him for cash. I've seen players traded for cash before. Y'all can't even go get y'all a little bag for Killian Hayes. That just baffles me, bro. And it's really disappointing to see. It really is. It really, really is. Like, a lottery pick y'all just released for nothing. Moving on, man. Video's getting pretty long. But I got a lot to say, bro. We missed our Saturday window for the podcast, so I got a little bit more to talk about since we got a couple more days. Like I said, though, moving on. Buyout candidates. Spencer Dinwiddie obviously was signed by the Lakers. Kyle Lowry signed by the 76ers. But then you also have Marcus Morris, Robin Lopez, Joe Harris, Daniel House, Killian Hayes, DeLon Wright, and Shake Milton. Currently, DeLon Wright and Shake Milton are not free agents, but they are. They could potentially be bought out because of their value to a contending team. So, like I said, Spencer Dinwiddie and Kyle Lowry already signed, so they're good. They're off the market. So you got Marcus Morris. These are teams that I speculate that they could use them, or they may have a roster spot open for them. So Marcus Morris, I would like to see him either Miami, Phoenix, or Golden State. Miami, that just gives you another guy that can stretch the floor and play in the post alongside Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. Don't know what's going to go on with the Haywood Highsmith situation, if they're going to keep him because of whatever's going on. He has legal issues going on right now, so I don't know. They might lose him, so a roster spot just might open up. Phoenix, they have a couple spots that they could sign a guy, and Marcus Morris has played there before, and I feel like he would be perfect to put alongside Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal in this system where a lot of their role players are catch and shoot, kick out kind of guys. So I like that a lot. And then Golden State, he can kind of be a Draymond Green protege with the bruiser type of thing, and he's a decent rebounder. Like I said, he can stretch the floor as well. They could use another shooter. They could use something over there. So I would like to see that in Golden State. Robin Lopez, I'm not really sure. I didn't really see any spots that, he would look good at. So I'm not really sure with him. But Joe Harris, Golden State, Phoenix, Philly, just a shooter. All these teams need shooting, and he would be obviously stellar in Golden State. That's all they do. Phoenix, like I just said, the catch and shoot kickouts. They would love to have Joe Harris. And then Philly, they just signed Buddy Hield, one of the most lethal three-point shooters of all time. So signing a guy like Joe Harris to go alongside that would really make them deadly from deep. Daniel House. It was reported that numerous contending teams would be interested in him, so I didn't even speculate with him. That could be any team, like the Bucks, like the Celtics. A lot of teams are contending right now. Hell, my Thunder are contending, so we could see Daniel House be signed by a contender sooner than later. DeLon Wright and Shake Milton, like I said, still have jobs currently, but DeLon Wright, Phoenix, and Miami, I think would be very solid choices for him, especially Miami with the defense that he brings. They would love that. Shake Milton, Los Angeles, baby, go knock down some shots, please, they need it. And then Killian Hayes, biggest question mark by far. Don't really know what team is interested in Killian Hayes, or what kind of value he has, because it was essentially nothing, because he was released for nothing. So best of luck to everybody out there, especially Killian, though. You hate to see a young guy who was living out his dream just it just dwindles right in front of him. And then James Bouknight was released as well. That one kind of got swept under the rug because of the Killian Hayes release, but let's be real, James Bouknight probably won't be back in NBA. Then the Cavs, man. I love me. I love me my Ohio. Brutus. This is a Cavs hoop right here. I'm wearing a Bulls hoodie right now, but I got the Cavs hoodie downstairs. I got a Cavs bag somewhere over here. Yeah, down there. It's on the floor. You can't really see it. But yeah, bro. I love, I'm from Ohio, bro, so I'm going to support my Cavs. We did have the greatest player ever to play basketball be drafted to our team. He is from our state. We have the greatest shooter ever in NBA history to be born in the same exact hospital as the greatest player of all time. So, you know what I mean? We got a little bit of swag over here. We got one of the greatest college teams, football teams in history, in Ohio State Buckeyes. This guy right here can, attest to that. But, Donovan Mitchell, we still got a little bit of swag. We still got Evan Mobley. We still got, Darius Garland. We still got Joe Burrow. We still got Jamar Chase. We still got a little bit of heat, you know what I mean? So, yeah, put on for Ohio, bro. But the Cavs, they doing it biggest. They doing it the biggest, bro. Hottest team in the league. They have won 17 of their last 18 games, putting together 8-game win streaks, and then they're currently on a 9-gamer right now at full health. They are comfortable at the 2 seed right now. I wrote this yesterday, so maybe things have changed, but when I wrote this yesterday, they were 2 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks for the 2 seed, and they don't appear to be slowing down at any time, bro. They're tied with Denver for the 3rd most wins in the entire league with 35. They're second to Minnesota, the best team out west, who has 36. They're just one game worse than the second team out west. I don't see nobody catching the Celtics. They're 40-12 right now. They're the first team to 40. Usually you're the first team to 40, you're the first to 50, and so on and so forth. So the Celtics are going to be the best team by far once it's all said and done. But the Cavs are right there, bro. They're one of the 8 teams that did not make a move to try and get better from the trade deadline. But with how well they've been playing, bro, I don't see really what they would have needed or why you would really mess up the chemistry that y'all got going on. So that makes sense. But, excuse me. Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell should be in legit MVP conversations with how well he's been able to keep this team afloat without 2 All-Stars. This is a team with 3 All-Star caliber players, and 2 of them went down for extended periods of time. Both at the same exact time. Both reports that Darius Garland had a fractured jaw and Evan Mobley was getting arthroscopic surgery on his left knee came out the exact same day, 2 minutes apart. And Donovan Mitchell said, "We still here. We still rocking. 17 of the last 18. Obviously, you can't give all the credit to Donovan Mitchell because the role players play huge parts of that. Sam Morrell, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft. Oh, love that. I love how he's been hooping for us, bro. And I say us, like I said, I'm an Ohio boy. I'm always going to rep for my Ohio teams. But y'all know my team is OKC, who is unfortunately in this pick right here against one of my favorite players of all time. Anyway, with the way that Donovan Mitchell's been playing, nobody could have predicted that would have happened with losing 2 All-Stars, bro. It kind of, if you ask me, and I'm just talking here. It kind of sounds similar to, I don't know, maybe 2-time MVP, defending champion Nikola Jokic, when his team was the 6th seed, and they lost 2 All-Stars, and he won his first MVP. I don't know. 6th seed, lost 2 All-Stars. Here go that MVP. 2 seed, lost 2 All-Stars. Nah, you ain't an All-Star starter. Get serious. Like, come on, bro. And I know we talking about Jokic losing 2 guys for entire seasons. But we at half point right now. And like I just said, you ain't an All-Star starter. That's half point. He lost those guys for a majority of this halfway point. But he ain't an All-Star starter. He ain't an MVP conversation. How well he's been playing, bro, that's a slap in the face. I'm going to be real with you. He's been that dude, bro. He's having the best year of his career. He's averaging 28.2 points, career highs of 6.3 assists, 5-point rebounds, and just under 2 steals a game on splits of 48, 36, 86. He's tied with De'Aaron Fox for second in the league with 1.9 steals on average. First is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with about 2.2 or something like that. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league as far as steals are concerned. Sorry about that. I got a phone call, interrupted me. Forgot to put it on D&D. But yeah, bro. Moving right along, this is the final topic. We'll get out of here. OKC Thunder, bro. I did a little research yesterday, and I went all the way back to the second and third games of the season to start, start off the year. I wanted to see, what our losses are looking like. Like, are we losing, close games, or is it convincing games? Like, what's really going on? Why are we losing these games like we're losing them? That was after the Mavericks game. I'm like, do we lose all of our games in blowouts? So I did some research. Of our 17 losses, 12 of them are back-to-back losses. 6 different occasions we've gone into games and lost a game and then lost the next game. That's majority of our losses. That is 75% of our losses right there. And it's that could definitely, in the playoffs be much more of an interesting topic to look at. See how it plays out, but it definitely makes me nervous, bro. It definitely makes me nervous because it happens so often. 6 different occasions we lost back-to-back games. Now, I will say, we have yet to lose 3 straight games. Every time we lose back-to-back, we bounce back with a win. Just like we got scraped by Dallas. The very next afternoon, yesterday, we came back out. We put up 130 plus points on the Sacramento Kings and won that game. So, you ask me, there might be a little silver lining once the playoffs come. Not going to lose 3 straight games, at least from what the track record of this season has been showing us. But 3 of the 4 times we played the Pistons, we lost. I did not know that. I thought it was just that one a couple weeks ago. No, I ain't been paying attention for real. We lost 3 games to the Detroit Pistons. The worst team in the entire league right now. 3 of our 4. Like, bro, no, like, I'm really heated about that, bro. Like, that raises some red flags, bro. Like, maybe we've been overlooking it because of how well they've exceeded everyone's expectations coming into the year. But we got some bad losses. And it's not just the 3 losses to Detroit. So we got 3 to them. We lost to Charlotte. We lost to Houston. We lost to the Hawks, the Nets, the Jazz, and 2 to the Lakers. That's 10 of our 12 losses to teams teetering 500 or in the play-in. 10 of our 17 losses are to below 500 teams. We're a much better team than what we actually than what it appears to be. Like, or maybe we appear to be a much better team than we actually are. I mean, we lost 10 games of our 17 to teams that are teetering 500 or in the play-in territory. That's not championship caliber ready basketball, you ask me, bro. Like I said, maybe I've just been overlooking it because I'm so happy with how well we've been performing, with how much turmoil, not really turmoil, but like all the turnover that's happened throughout the last few years with Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Paul George being out, and then we get in, Shea. We draft Chet, we draft J-Dub, and, we actually start building something. Maybe I just was so, what they say, like you're blindly in love. That's kind of what it was. So when we play these younger teams that can also get out and run, it gets a little tough, and that's what we saw, bro. Like even with the Kings, they got a game against us, and coincidentally, they're one of the fastest paced teams in the league. So although there's yet to be a time this season where we lost 3 games, like I said, it is like you lose 2 games. Like say we go down 0-2, it's not guaranteed we're going to bounce back and win game 3. So it is concerning. It is something I'm definitely going to pay attention more to throughout this year, and especially when we play 500 teams, because I don't really watch those games. I'm gonna be real. I don't watch Pistons games. I don't watch much Hornets basketball. I need to though, because Brandon Miller is a hell of a player. And me watching, like seeing his highlights, I'm like, damn, bro, I wish I was watching Hornets. So I'm definitely about to start watching the Hornets more. The Wizards, don't care. Like I care about basketball, bro, but I'm not about to waste my time watching teams that I know are not performing or even wanting to, put out quality level basketball. So I missed those games by accident on purpose. And then, like I said, after getting scraped by the New Look Mavs on Saturday, we bounced back with that win against the Kings, where J-Dub and J-Dub and Shea combined for 70 points. J-Dub had 32. Shea had 38. We took down the Sacramento Kings, like I said, who we've had a little bit of trouble against this season, being one of the faster teams in the league. It's harder when we got to face a team that plays similar to us. We kind of played down a little bit. I don't know, but we got that dub in the game where Sabonis had a triple-double, and Malik Monk led the team in scoring off the bench with 26 points, and then De'Aaron Fox was just 6 of 17 from the field with 15 points, and that's probably the determining factor that lost him the game. But yeah, still no 3-game losing streak, and I'm happy to see that. So there, like I said, maybe some silver lining come May. But then we made that trade for Gordon Hayward, bro. And although he didn't suit up in that Mavericks game, I really think he's gonna be something for us, bro. We have a solid 9 to 10 man rotation for the playoffs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, Gordon Hayward, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, Kenrich Williams, and Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams. Did I not say Josh Giddey? Okay, yeah, Josh Giddey. That gives us 4 to 5 on-ball creators, 3 to 4 playmakers, all plus shooters. Everybody on this team shoots 40% or above, or very, very close to it. And all plus defenders of those 10 players I named. I mean, unless you consider the other Jalen Williams, you take him out. Everybody that I named is a plus shooter and a plus defender. That's playoff level basketball rotation right there. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. This is a long podcast, one of my longer ones. Like I said, I had a lot to say because we missed Saturday. We also missed Sunday, but we here now. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Whoever watched the whole thing, go ahead, leave me a like, bro. Comment something down below so I know. Comment, enjoy basketball so I know you watched the whole thing. And yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm gonna catch y'all, man.